Now, this video is for those of you that have a traditional brick and mortar business. Maybe you have an online business, or maybe you have a network marketing business, and you find yourself struggling, or you find yourself failing in your business. You've spent all kind of money. You spent your life savings in this business. You went ahead and borrowed from your credit card. You did whatever you had to do. And not only are you running the business, but you find yourself hemorrhaging day in and day out in this business. If that's you and you've been in business for, let's say, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, then this is definitely the video for you. All right, so let's get to it. Who am I? I am Shawn James. I am your Christian business coach and a professional speaker. Guys, so what I do is I help businesses that are struggling, and I help them to become profitable. I help them to get out of the red and get into the black. Okay, sometimes by 10x, 30x, whatever the case may be. And so myself, I have my own business. I have a communications and media company that's focused 60-60. I'm also the co-owner and chief operations officer of a medical practice. And so guys, I know the daily struggles, the in and outs of hiring people and getting rid of people. I know what it's like that people are lying to you. I understand what it's like when customers are giving you bad reviews. I understand what it's like when the revenue's not coming in and you still have to cover payroll. You still have to cover your taxes. You still have to cover your inventory. And you got to go ahead and try to bring something home so that you can cover the business and keep a roof over your head. I totally understand that. Guys, I've been doing this for well over 20 years. I've definitely helped dozens and dozens of businesses, definitely small to mid-size and a couple large companies, but I definitely like to work with small to mid-sized businesses. And these are businesses that are 100 employees or maybe less. All right. And so let's talk a little bit more about me so that I can get right into the material. And so guys, I've handled running a company from $0 into over $1.2 million in a couple of years. And this has been in the security industry. And then I've also worked in the real estate industry. And currently I work into medical industry with my medical practice. And my wife and I have been able to accumulate well over $1 million over the course of the last few years growing this business. So what I can share with you is my knowledge and expertise on the 5 main areas that I find are the key areas that can help fix a business from being in the red and being into the black. All right. So guys, as I go through this information, if you like what you're hearing and stuff, go ahead and go ahead, subscribe, like the video. But more than that, I have a link in there for your email. And what I do is I'm going to offer free offers and some updates of our amazing, we're in our pre-launch right now. We're in our pre-launch of our 1-day intensive, which helps business owners to immediately get information to help turn and transform their business and get out of the red into the black. And then if you find that, hey, I need a little bit more from there, we're also launching a 3-day workshop, a VIP workshop, and where we go really in depth with that. And we also offer one-on-one coaching where if you feel that, hey, Shawn, I really need to revamp my whole entire business, guys, we'll be launching that. So right now we're in the pre-launch phase, but go ahead and hit that link. Let's go ahead and connect and talk, and let's see what we can do to help your business. All right. Here's what I need you to do. I need you to get your notebooks, or I need you to get your notepads on your phone, or I need you to take screenshots. And I also need you to replay this video over and over again, because I'm telling you, I'm going to drop some serious nuggets here on how I diagnose a business and how you yourself can self-diagnose your business and get you out of the red into the black and in profitability in the next 90 days. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, guys. So over my 20 plus years of looking at all kind of businesses and all the different industries, these are the 5 main areas that we're going to talk about that if I break it down, something in your business touches one of these areas, okay? So the first area is going to be operations. Operations, okay? All right. The second area that we're going to end up talking about is going to be marketing. Third area is going to be sales. Number 4, customer service. And the last is going to be finances. All right, great. So Guys, when I opened up the video, I talked about that I am a Christian business coach. What exactly does that mean? What that means is I help people clear up their blocks within them and be able to get a better connection to Jesus Christ and work on the inner person here. Because guys, if I can help you work on the inner person and go ahead and use biblical principles to go ahead and fix or realign or transform the inside of you, guess what? It will reflect directly into your business. Now, let me go ahead and say this right now. This is not the prosperity gospel, okay? I'm definitely not into the prosperity gospel. And why is that? There's a lot of people out there that are pushing prosperity gospel, and here's the simple fact and the truth of it. If no one's ever told you, I'm going to be straight up and I'm going to be real with you right here, okay? Is that God does not care about you being rich. All right? He does not care about you being wealthy. All right? Even though the Bible will talk about over 3,000 different scriptures that pertain to finances, all right, does not mean that he cares about you being rich. What he cares about is saving your soul. Okay? And what we should be caring about is how we can glorify him through our God-given talents, through our skills and our purpose that he instilled in us to impact hundreds of thousands of people around the world, okay, and glorify him in the process. This is what that's about. So as I continue to talk to you, I want you to know that the focal point is you. And where your relationship is, where your spiritual walk is, has so much to determine where your business is headed. Okay? That is the key point right here. Because if we don't get this right, guys, then guess what? Whatever we put out into the earth is going to be jacked up. All right? If we're moving right, if we're having a right walk with our family, with our attitude, with our mind process, with the way that we serve our customers, in the way that we present ourselves out into the earth, well, guess what? That will go ahead and shine through your business, through your skills, all right, through your knowledge, through your experience. All that will come out. And that's exactly why God created us, okay? He wants his ministry to come through you, into your ministry, okay? And your business, I think of our business as children that we birth and also as our ministry, okay? So let's go ahead and go over these 5 things right here and let you know how is it that I can go ahead and diagnose a business? Just like a doctor, just like in our medical practice, my wife, who is a functional medicine doctor, she's able to diagnose by looking at labs and looking at the inner DNA and of operations inside of the body. She's able to find out what's wrong with the body and be able to fix those things so that the body can operate at an optimal level. Same thing here, guys. We're going to go ahead and take a very microscopic look into your business. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and break it down in these areas. And then we're going to go ahead, diagnose it, and then we're going to treat these areas. But guess what? I'm going to teach you how you can go ahead and do that. And obviously in our intensive and in our coaching, we go way in depth, even to the point where we'll go ahead and present your business and we can go ahead and dissect it and do a forensic look at your business and start to dissect that business so that we can get it fixed and on the route that it needs to go. All right, so let's go here. So let's talk about operations. Operations is so key, all right? So first of all, what do I mean when I talk about operations? I'm talking about the daily way that you operate your business. Again, this is for people who have a traditional brick and mortar business. This is for people who have an online business, okay? And this is also if you're in network marketing. And yes, I have created some large organizations in the network marketing space. I've been in 2 network marketing companies. The first one, I was in Legal Shield. I became I became one of their, not diamonds, I'm sorry. I hit their top rank within 90 days of being in the business, okay? And that's because I had a great mentor that taught me to work fast but work smart, okay? In my second network marketing company, I had a great mentor in that one also, and my mentor just taught me to be professional and just build, and work. But there were some key pieces in there that I'm going to cover that apply to all sectors of business, okay? All right, so when we talk about daily operations, here's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about from when a customer, all right, picks up the phone or sees your website or landing page or whatever, and they dial that number, it's the experience that they're going to go ahead and go through from the very beginning of picking up the phone. Do you have a pleasant message? Is it professional sounding? And not only that, are you responding in a timely manner to that customer? Because understand, when someone sees a product or service that they want in this day and time of immediate gratification. People want to get an answer quickly. They want, when they get that urge to purchase, they get that urge to get a service, they want it now. All right. And if you're not accessible, guys, at least within 24 hours, you're going to lose that customer. And that's where I see the first place that people mess up in their daily operations. Nothing wrong with automating your system, but making sure that people are getting to speak to someone in a timely fashion is crucial. Okay. The second thing is, let's say you have a brick and mortar business. All right. Or maybe you have a network marketing business where you end up meeting the person face to face. The thing that I want you to know is, how do you look? How is your business presented when that customer looks at you? Okay? This is so important. Now, I understand we got Gen Zers, we got millennials, and I understand we went through the pandemic, and everybody is now into this really casual way of doing business. And I get it. I get it. Now, you got to forgive me. I'm old school. I've been doing this for a long time. I grew up where, you need to have at least one suit in your closet for an interview, a pressed up shirt, a nice tie, and some shoes. I don't care if it was your Sunday's best, you dressed up to show that employer that you mean business. Well, I understand that Gen Zers and millennials and all those other people, especially in the tech world, they got really comfortable and said, hey, it shouldn't matter how I look because, you can't judge a book by its cover. I could be the best talent in the world and all of that. And here's the thing that I have to go through with that philosophy, guys, is that God gave us 2 eyes and 2 ears and a mouth, okay? And so understand that we're very visual first, okay? Before you open your mouth, I'm going to see you coming. And when I see you coming, I don't care who it is, you're going to make a judgment call. Me being right here on camera, if I wasn't dressed a certain way, I don't understand if you really respect me the same way, okay? Maybe you would give me the credit, but it's harder for you to build that trust with me if I don't look like what I represent, okay? And for me, I always want to present my business in the best light. And this is in every single detail. Every single detail. I mean, from having a crisp logo, I mean to having great pictures on your website or landing page. Okay, and great means even if you take it with your phone, just make sure that you're dressed, make sure that it's good lighting, and just make sure it's a crispy picture and you got your hair done, your makeup done if you're a woman, you get a haircut, gentlemen. Just make sure that you're presenting the best picture for your business, because this is the face that people see, okay? Again, you've heard it a million times, but I always want to stress that it's the packaging that matters, okay? It could be something really nasty tasting inside of a candy wrapper, but if the candy wrapper looks great, you're going to pick it up and you're going to taste it, and you won't know it's nasty until you bite it. But if the wrapper looks pretty dingy and dirty and but it's the greatest piece of candy, most people will never taste that piece of candy because the wrapper doesn't look good, all right? So guys, that's the next thing, is what does your business look like from the outside? This is where you may need to ask some friends and family, hey, look, I need you to be real with me. What does my business look like from the outside? When you see my website, what does this say? Does it say professional? Does it say competent? Okay, when you see me and you come up to me and I'm in business mode, what is the impression that you get of how I dress? Okay, it matters, because guess what? I know people want to feel comfortable in how they dress. That's great, but understand that you are a billboard of your business. Okay, people are judging, and you have to attract the right customers. Now, the customer, hopefully, if you're having some sort of medium price ticket item or a high price item, these are people who care about the small details. Understand that buyers like me, buyers like my wife, buyers like my friends, people that are in high net worth areas or even mid net worth areas, they are looking for quality. You know why? Because each of our dollars count. We want to spend our money wisely. We want to make sure that we're spending our money on quality. All right? And guess what? You may fool me down the line, but at least look like quality from the very beginning. And hopefully, if your business runs as quality, you're going to have a lifelong customer. All right. So your business operation is so important. So we're talking about your appearance from the outside. All right. So the next thing we'll move on to, all right, is if you have a brick and mortar business, what is the atmosphere when I come in? Is it friendly? Are you greeting every person that comes in? Are you paying attention? Or do you have a receptionist that's on their cell phone, or, playing on the phone, scrolling, or have headphones on? They have their head down. They're not smiling. They're in a poor attitude. All that is a reflection of your business, guys. And when that customer comes in, they're expecting to spend money with you. But guess what? There's a million things that could turn them off and make them walk back out the door. And then they'll come to another business right down the street. And because the presentation is friendly, because it looks good coming in, they're going to feel good spending their money. Here's some psychology. When people feel good, they spend more money. When people feel good, they spend more money. When they feel comfortable, when they feel welcome, when there's a lightheartedness in the area or very good customer service in the area where people feel friendly and you feel very helpful, guess what? People want to spend money. When people walk in somewhere, understand the walking in, the approaching is already 70% of the sale. The other 30% is the experience that brings them to the point of sale. All right? So you need to check your operations out, because that might be the problem right there that I see kills a lot of businesses, okay? You have young people, and no dig against young people, because I have some very, very impressive young people that have worked for me, and they're upright, professional, dressed to the nine, and have great manners. But there's a lot of young people that do not have that, okay? And guess what? There's people my age that are like that too. They're burnt out, they're tired, and it shows, and they have short attitudes, and they come with the attitude. And I'm going to tell you, if you have that in your business, you either have to correct it or you need to go ahead and take that out of your business. Otherwise, it's costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars in the long run if you keep that sort of attitude at the front of your business, okay? So your daily operations. The second part of that is efficiency. Is your business efficient? Again, are you responding to emails? Do you have a service that responds to emails in a timely fashion? Okay. Nowadays, because of instant gratification and people want what they want as quickly as they want, you need to be able to respond to me with emails within a day. But really, if you're really trying to up your game, you need to respond to emails within the hour. Within the hour. In our practice, guys, when someone sends an email, it is our goal that within 15 to 30 minutes, we respond to that email or text message. Okay? It's a high standard, but guess what? We're servicing high standard patients. Okay? And they expect a certain level. And even if they don't expect it, we raise that level for us to be the best in our area of what we do. Okay? So you got to look at your processes. Are you responding? And if you think you're okay, you need to improve it. Okay, there's always room for improvement. You can be better. If you're responding within 48 hours, you need to start challenging yourself to do it within a couple hours. Okay, and that means if you can't manually do it yourself, then you need to find some sort of automated service, or you need to find an outside third-party service, or you just need to hire some more help so that you can go ahead and get that high level of customer experience that's needed. And this is part of your daily operations, okay? And then next thing from there is just making sure that the flow of your business is smooth, making sure that you don't have employees or people in your group that are moving around haphazardly, that are looking like they're always on fire, they're looking like they're under tension or extra stress or all that. Now, you can't solve everything if you're a busy business, but the thing is, you need to put things in place to ease that so there's a flow. Because believe me, customers feel that tension when they walk into your business. I feel it when I walk into a business and everybody's rushing around and they're ignoring you. Or they're rushing around and you feel hurried. Or they feel like they're trying to hurry and get you out the door. That right there will kill your business. All right? So that's just a small part of daily operation. We can go on and on, but that's what I want to touch base on. Number two, let's talk about marketing. Okay? Guys, we're in the world of marketing where, we came back from, earlier times ago, moons ago, you could put ads in the newspaper, obviously. And we know that is far gone now. Now it's online marketing, which is big. What does your online marketing look like? Are you on social media? Are you doing ads of some sort, whether it's Google ads, Instagram, YouTube ads, TikTok ads, whatever the case may be? Are you making a concerted effort to market? So I went to a conference a few weeks ago, and there were some really prominent physicians that had some practices that they've grown over the last couple of decades or so. And I heard, people saying, oh, I don't really do social media marketing. I just let it grow organically by word of mouth. And I totally understand if your vision is to have a business that is at a steady pace, or maybe you grew it to a point where you're plateaued and you're at a good pace, that is the right mindset for that thought to be like that, okay? You can go ahead and do that if you want to keep it at a level pace. But if you're trying to dig yourself out of the red and go into the black, well, you need to now look at this area very seriously. Because right now, over 90% of marketing that goes on within our economy, period, whether you're overseas, you're looking at this video and you're overseas, or whether you're here in the United States, it doesn't matter. 90% of businesses have some sort of social media presence. What does that tell you? You need to have some social media presence, okay? Okay, does that mean that you have to have a YouTube channel? Not necessarily, but it could help. Does that mean you have to have Instagram? If you're a business, you need to have Instagram, okay? If you're selling products and services, you need to have TikTok, all right? You need to have Flip. You need to have, a myriad of sales things that are out there, okay? Right now in our time, it's easier than ever to sell your product and service. Obviously, you want to make sure it's quality. Don't just put junk out there, guys. Your name and reputation are behind it. So you want to put out good stuff. But let me tell you something. Your marketing is so important. So if you reach the point where, let's just say you just are disgusted of marketing, you don't want to do marketing, or you're resistant. Now, I'm in my 50s, so I understand that some of us in our 40s and 50s were a little resistant to being online. Well, look, if you have a business, I'm telling you now, and you're not seeing the revenue that you feel you deserve or that you're expecting, it is because you are not on social media. All right? Now, here's the advantage of social media. It can be free advertising where you have millions upon millions of people around the world that are seeing your service or product. I don't understand now why anybody would not promote their business, service, or network marketing business online. It makes no sense, okay? So I need you to go ahead and change that mindset. And if you have some sort of roadblock or insecurity about that, well, guys, I'm just telling you, this is what's going to get your business out of the red and into the black, okay? You have to have a social media presence. Now, I suggest that you learn to do it yourself, because this is another skill that will help you to grow your business. And I'm a hands-on person. Again, I feel a business is you birthing your own baby. So you don't just birth the baby and then you give it to somebody else. And I see so many people doing that. After a year, they want to hand off their baby to somebody else. They want to let somebody else handle. They want to automate every little thing and just do it. And you got to understand, you want people, and there has to be a human interaction between us, okay? If people fall in love with you, okay, and I mean just your personality, your brand, and just you are the brand. Your business that you birth is part of your DNA that you're putting out. People are falling in love with that, okay? So you staying in connection with that and nurturing that is what's going to help grow your business. So the second you cut that umbilical cord and give it to a foster parent, well, now you're going to pick up some of that from the foster parent. And guess what? That's going to probably taint, the messaging that you're trying to get. So I truly believe that you should first start on learning how to do social media. Now, if you're not comfortable with it, that's fine. Go ahead and hire someone to do that, okay? But don't just hire anybody, okay? Don't just hire your niece because you think she's playing on social media all day and you think she's a great social media marketer. Don't just give it to your nephew. Don't just give it to your cousin because they're, maybe they're in college and they're doing graphic design. You say, well, maybe they'll do good because they're online all the time. Yes, it can work. But look, at this point in the game, if your business is failing, if your business is struggling, this is the time that you need to go all in and get quality. You need to find professionals that specialize in social media and know how to tailor your service or product. They know how to make that brand pop. They know how to get the messaging out correctly. They know how to have a call to action so that people can immediately start buying in your service or your product immediately. You don't have time to play around with that. So let's get on that part as far as the marketing. Okay, I do believe in old school marketing. I still believe in picking up the phone and calling your network. I still believe in picking up the phone and asking, who do you know? Who do you know that might need this? Hey, by any chance, here's what I'm doing. Hey, I'm going through something with my business, but guess what? We have some great products that we're launching off. We have this change in our business. Who do you know that might like this? All right. The next thing is you need to be networking. You can't build your business and you're always stuck in your office. I understand, but Shawn, I gotta work, I gotta grind. But guess what? You're not growing. You're not profitable. So you got to do the things that got you launched in the beginning. If you did these things in the beginning, if you didn't, then you missed a good part of your growth. So that means you need to get out, at least pick once a week, okay, to get out of your business, and you need to be out in some social business group setting of other potential customers that are just like you, your same age range, your same income range, or at least the income range of the customer that you're looking for. If you're in real estate, okay, you need to be in business groups where if you sell luxury houses, okay, you need to be in business groups that people that have great careers, jobs, and incomes can purchase that. And you need to go ahead and network within that. Okay, like me, if you're in the medical industry, you need to be around people who need those medical services, okay? And that's usually other business owners, there's people at the gym that care about health and lifestyle and things of that nature, okay? If you're a cleaning business, all right, you need to be around other owners that own buildings or property managers and things of that nature. You need to be a part of a property management group. Why? So that, or HOAs, you need to be part of an HOA group or be a part and show up there. You need to promote your business. This is how you're going to get the business in so that you can go ahead and get out of the red and get into the black, okay? All right, so next thing we're going to cover is sales. Now, I'm not going to have a sales because even though I do teach sales, the thing is, guys, there's hundreds of books, there's hundreds of YouTube videos, and the thing is, sales is a necessary part of business. If you're this person that's watching this and you say, I don't like sales, great. Okay, great. Guess what? There are millions of us that maybe do not like sales. But just like we don't like accounting, we still have to balance our books. We still have to watch the money. This is a necessary part of your business. Because guess what? If you have a product and service and nobody buys it, and they don't know that you're out there, then what do you have? You have a hobby. You have a hobby that you do all by yourself with just a few friends and people that know you, and that's it. That's a hobby. That is not a business. That is not a career. That is not a legacy business. What is a legacy business? This is a business that you can will over to your kids. Okay? And most people that I speak to, they want to build a legacy business. But if you don't set the foundation right, if you don't make these corrections now, you cannot leave this hot mess of a business to your kids. Because if you didn't know, they're not going to know. And then guess what? This is why a lot of businesses die out within a generation. So you need to know sales. I'm not going to say it's really simple, but what I am going to say is it's simple. Okay? Just as easy as I'm talking to you, it's a conversation. And it's really just some easy steps. Here it is. A person can't buy something they don't need. Okay? Your whole goal is through your marketing and through your networking is finding the people that need what you have. Once you connect with the person that needs what you have, you now inform them of what you have. And it's an easy conversation. And you ask them some simple questions. Like, okay, I understand that you're looking for this particular home. Can you tell me how long have you been looking for that home? What are some of the things in that home that you're looking for? What are some of the pain points and why you haven't found that yet? Okay, are you looking to work with somebody? What are the things that you're needing to successfully want to work with somebody? Okay? What have you ran into in the past that didn't work out? Ask questions. If you're good at asking just simple questions that are common sense questions, which are, what are you looking for? What do you want? How soon do you want it? Then it's like, well, I have it. I'd like to do business with you. The psychology is being authentic. It's making sure you find the people that are looking for what you need. And sometimes you have to sift through. It's not having to strong arm people. It's not having to do these quick little salesy gimmicks and these little mental twists to do it. Because at the end of the day, you want a customer that is satisfied, that will re-shop with you, that will purchase again and again with you. And if you snake them in, if you hustle them in, You've got them that one time, but I promise you, you won't get continued business. The businesses that are successful for legacy business, whether you're an online business, whether you're a brick and mortar business, whether you're a network marketer, are ones that have repeat legacy customers. You have legacy businesses, but guess what? These legacy businesses have legacy customers. Okay? Very important. So learn sales. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You will not survive if you do not learn sales. And make it fun. And just make it honest. And be real with people. But make it one of your goals to be the best salesperson of your product or service. Of your product or service. Ask questions and people will ask questions back. And what you do is you make notes of the questions they ask and then you have answers. And if you don't know the answer, then you find the answer, you call them back and you give them the answer. And then you ask them, hey, I'd really love to work with you. Is there any reason that we couldn't work together? And then you take that answer and you let that develop you. And then it gets you to the next level. Okay, next thing. Customer service. Man, I am telling you, I could probably stop right here. I probably could. I don't know what it's been over this last generation, the last couple generations, but it seems like that our customer service for people in the experience has been slowly declining. We've turned into a volume-based society. Okay? We've turned into, I got to get more. I did 100 and made sales, but now I want 500. But now I want 1,000. Now I want 1,000,000. You can't always do customers like you do your views. Okay? It may be easy to get 1.2 million subscribers, 1.2 million views on a video. Yes, that's easy because you made that one time and it services that person's entertainment feel that time and they can watch it over and over and over again. But when it comes to business, you have to make sure that each and every person gets a premium customer service experience because you don't know who that person is connected to. Again, if you're thinking legacy minded, that you don't just want to get the one and done customer, but you want this person to rebuy from you. You want to do service with you over and over again. They buy a home from you. They want to buy the first, second, third, fourth, fifth home from you. Not only that, you want their children to buy from you. You want their mom and dad to buy from you. You want their cousins and coworkers to buy from you. How are you going to do that if you don't have a premium customer service experience? All of you network marketers out there, okay? You know, we talk fast and we get people in and then we got the numbers and then we move on to the next. I know, I've been there, I've been through it. I want the numbers, I'm trying to hit the next rank, I'm trying to go ahead and get my volume up. But then you forget about the people that raise their hands and say, hey, I got a question. And now they can't get in touch with you. I'm too busy. I can't talk to you because I'm too busy grinding for the next level. I can't have it. You haven't put any customer service backup in place. Oh, but the company handles that. Because it's a company in a box. Yeah, but they bought because of you. They heard your voice. They like you. Yes, they like the service and the product, but they like you. They like you because you seemed authentic. You seemed like you wanted to help. You seemed, and it sounded good in the very beginning. You started your business and you wanted to care and you wanted to help everybody. And then you got to a point where the rank and the money and everything, the accolades got you. And now you forget the customers that kept on buying from you. And now what happens is you build a legacy of churning over, and you're not maintaining an organization. Ask me how I know. Okay? But you want to eliminate that. Now, I almost got caught in that, but I learned very early from my corporate experience that customer service was so important. I never wanted a reputation of he don't care. He don't care about it. He just out for money. He doesn't care about my experience. I mean, I got a problem in my back office. I called him 8 times and he's ignoring my call. Guys, you're not going to get that from my downline when I had a downline. You don't get that. I've always made sure that I was reachable. I always made sure I returned their calls or emails or texts in a very timely fashion. If I had to get on to my corporate and 3-way call with my client that I recruited maybe 3 years ago, I do it. I don't care what rank I have. I don't care how high up the ladder I'm at. I still make sure my customer service is on point because my reputation precedes the company. My reputation, my legacy will still continue to go on. My name is attached to it. If you don't put value to your name of high value, nobody else is. And then what happens is I see people hit these ranks, and guess what? They flip into another company and they got to start all over again. Some of them can retain some of their movement because guess what? Some of those leaders had good customer service and they were able to make people profitable. I understand that. Online business. If you have an online business, what is your processes? Your customer service. If a customer has to complain about a product because it was damaged or they didn't get exactly what they were promised, do you get on the phone immediately and resolve that issue, or do you disappear? Do you ignore the calls? Do you say, I'll get to it in 3 or 4 days because I'm too busy making money? See, that's going to kill your business. Customer service is almost the spine of your business. It's almost like the spine. It's like what holds it together. And if you lack in customer service, I promise you, customers quickly talk about it and your reputation goes down very quickly and your sales can be high 1 month or even for 6 months, but it'll decline later on. You can have not the best product or not the best service, but if you have great customer service, it'll still grow. That business will still expand and grow. You still can be a multimillionaire. I've seen it because the customer service is great. Let's take Chick-fil-A. Is Chick-fil-A the best chicken in the world? Well, for some it is. If you ask my son, he'll say that's the best chicken in the world. But for some people, it's not the best chicken in the world. But the customer service at each and every location is impeccable. And even if you don't think it's the best chicken, you still know that when you want good customer service and you're going to get your service and get whatever resolved, any problem resolved, they're always going to do it with a smile. You always have a manager right there. They don't mind coming outside in the line. Heck, I see managers standing in line giving out food. They're never too busy to speak. And they're always asking, how you doing? Even in the line, how are you doing today? You doing great? Have a great day. God bless you. Customer service, guys. If you don't have good customer service, you need to immediately change that. How do you work toward fixing it? Look, here's what I suggest that you do. Grab a friend, a relative or somebody who's never been to your business. If you have a brick and mortar business, if you have an online business, and have them come through your business and don't tell anybody else. All right, don't tell any of your employees, coworkers. If you have employees, don't tell them. And have them come through and see how the customer service and give you honest feedback. Here's another thing. Are you getting surveys done in your business? Even if you're in network marketing, even if you're an online business owner, if you're a traditional brick and mortar business, are you getting customer surveys out? Because guess what? You're going to get the brutal truth. It may hurt your feelings, but would you rather hurt your feelings and correct the issue so you can be profitable and get out of the red? Or is your pride too sensitive and you just swear you're doing a great business? You're the bomb.com and everything is perfect and I don't need to change anything. If you're not doing quarterly surveys, you're missing the boat. Your competition can pass you because they're watching you. Your sidelines watching you. The other online business is going into your online and they're trying to look at your social media traffic. They're trying to read your reviews. Your brick and mortar business, the people right down the street, they're looking at people leave and they're coming in there and they're complaining. But you don't know it because you don't do a survey. Customer service. Last area, finances. Ooh, Shawn, what about these finances? Where's your money going? Are you being a good steward of your money? Man, I learned this lesson. My wife and I, we've really learned this lesson as we've been running a business. We learned very early on that you need to start your business off lean. I understand that people want the best of the best. And like I said, they want to have that great presentation from the beginning, and that's okay. But sometimes you have to understand that you need to evolve. Here's the thing. You need to take the profits from your business and reinvest into your business. you want to try to avoid, doesn't mean it'll happen, but you need to try to avoid taking money out of your A job and putting it into your B business. Working 2 jobs to take care of your business. Do you have to do something? Absolutely, I get it. But if we start off lean, I see a lot of people just overspend right from the beginning. They start off in too much debt. And then the first 3 years, they're digging themselves out of the debt that they got. They bought brand new equipment when they should have bought used. They bought brand new furniture when they should have bought used. They redecorated. They got an interior decorator to build out their office, their spa, their lounge, or whatever, instead of getting a bucket of paint, wallpaper, and you and your family doing it. Or finding a contractor that will give you a great price and making it look clean and fresh and decent. And then as you grow, you start to make the changes. Because here's what customers like. Customers like to grow with you. They like to see the change. They like to see transformation. They want to feel a part. See, they're a community because they're your fan. And when they're a fan, they want to see that business evolve and know that they're a part of it. If you're spending, $250,000, $300,000, $500,000, and you haven't made 1 penny yet, then you're already setting yourself up for suicide. But Shawn, I had to start my brick and mortar business. I understand. I had to get the loan. I had to get an SBA. I had to do that. I get it. If that's the case, then you should be aggressive every single day to make sure that stuff is paid off as quickly as possible. Okay? And the problem is that people are overextended. And instead of enjoying their business, instead of enjoying their new baby that they birth, they're struggling. They're running. And they feel it as a burden. And they feel burnt out. And they're on their last leg and all that other stuff. And I totally get it. So their finances aren't in order. A lot of you are overextended in your credit. Because instead of working on these things right here first, okay, instead of working on those things, what happened is you said, I'm going to get more money because I got to keep my payroll afloat. I understand. Sometimes you may have to scale back. Maybe you might have to let somebody go and you go into overtime and do what you did in the beginning to grind and get it where it needs to be so that you don't have to get an extra loan. Maybe some of you don't need to be brick and mortar and you need to go online. Cut that overhead and grow that online presence again, or go online and brick and mortar and try to get that balanced out to go ahead and get out of debt. There's a lot of different options. Each business is so unique, okay? Each one, again, is like an illness that a person may have. For each person, it's different. And so there's a different cure for every business, because me and you could run the same sort of business, but we don't run it exactly the same. You may spend finances more liberal than I do. Your customer service may be better than mine, but my marketing is really tight. My sales skills is really strong, but my operations is kind of jacked up because I got an influx of all these sales from marketing, but I can't handle the volume because I haven't learned to transition and hire more help. I haven't learned that I need to, expand my hours, or I haven't learned that I need to automate some certain thing. See, I don't make those changes at the crucial times that I need to. And this is where sometimes you may need some extra guidance, okay? And that's what we're here to do. So guys, again, these are 5 main areas that you can diagnose what's going on with your business. If you're struggling right now, okay, and I understand there's a lot of people that are in prayer over their business. I understand there's a lot of husbands and wives that are on their second mortgage of their home. They're in a lot of debt. They're struggling right now. They can't tithe at their church they want to. They got a car that's getting the repossession note. They have electricity bills that's going up. They have payroll that's coming around the corner and they don't know how to pay for that. I totally understand. But what you can do is go ahead and take these notes down. And I need you to go ahead and pray over these things. And I need you to get a revelation that the Holy Spirit will work with you to find out which of these areas can I work on to go ahead and get my business together. Here's the thing. Your finances are the root source of that will tell you where this disease is in your business. Okay? So if I look at your finances and I find out that your revenue, your cash flow is looking pretty weak, okay? But you're investing in sales, you're doing some marketing, but your cash flow is poor. Now we need to start looking at, well, what's happening in your operations? What's happening there? We need to look at that. What's happening in your customer service? Okay? We look at your finances to say, are you giving too many refunds? Okay? Then that might be a customer service problem. All right? That might be a product problem. You might need to get rid of a product because it's costing you too much. Okay? It's like, it may be that. We look at your finances and that tells us, okay, so what is your debt looking like? What is the interest rates on the loans that you have? We might need to refinance something. Might need to get out of that. We may need to reallocate some funds and pay off these high interest things first, or get rid of that so that we can go ahead and get it together. Maybe your rent is way too high. Maybe it's time to get out of that location and go to a smaller location, revamp and transform your business so then you could go ahead and expand again and find out that, wow, I can do twice as many sales in a smaller location in maybe a better area, and it's not killing my pockets, but now I can get out of this hole quicker. This is what happens when we start to look at your finances. All right, so guys, look. This is the 5 main core areas on how to diagnose your business. Again, if you're struggling, you're going through a season in your business, and understand all businesses go through a season. I've not been a part of any business that has not had up and down seasons. The issue is how are you trending with your business? You're always going to go up and down, but are you going up and down in an upward direction, or are you going up and down in a downward direction? Again, go ahead and make sure that you join our email list, because right now we're in the pre-launch for our one-day intensive that's going to be launching out here in the next couple months. Excuse me. And then we're looking at doing maybe a 3-day workshop where we really can dig a lot deeper into these areas so that I can really help you guys diagnose more into how to cure these things going on in your business. And then again, if you need some coaching, go ahead and join the email list, and I'll let you know when our coaching will open up in regards to that. Again, my name is Shawn James, and it's a pleasure to talk to you. And again, be an overachiever God's way.